And we are live. Make sure the mic is on. Sometimes I'm still kind of getting used to it, but I definitely can appreciate the vibe. But yeah, what's good? We're back.
We are readying reinforcements. Keep fighting, Tenno.
Making some more content, you know the vibes. Pick up your rally pretty much. Really on edge. I'm getting some leveling in. This time I'm actually using the Pullman, which is it actually happens to be a milestone weapon. So definitely been, you know, ranking this one up as of late, but truth be told, it's actually a pretty good one. Just from what I've used so far. It happens to be like, it's kind of like crit based. So, I mean, not as much hybrid. It kind of reminds me of like a rechargeable Soma, honestly, with a little bit, well, a little bit is an understatement. Actually, it does have higher base IPS, but yeah, it's definitely interesting for sure. Super accurate as well, so I mean, even with that, like I already played out and I'm scoping it. I see it as, you know, really taking today. And it just automatically recharges, so it doesn't run out of ammo either. Which is always nice, you know what I mean? If you want something that can like be very formidable and clear through things, definitely not a bad choice there. Now in this regard, I am running rifles. I'll do the little bit of that, I see. That's wild. I can get my first ability. Oh no. Using the page drive. Okay. Not bad, not bad. So first ability seems to be way more duration based for sure. Cool. I know about that. Now his third ability, Aqua Blade, deals slashing, which it looks like at a pretty rapid rate as well. It's also recastable. Has to be kind of like a but the slash procs are definitely there.
Reinforcements available. Do you choose to leave now or continue fighting? Continue to defend. You will be rewarded for your bravery.
I would definitely throw in like some extra ability range, you know what I mean? Like it would be good. Yeah, it would definitely be good. She's kind of like, to be honest, she could be an AFK frame, like it's built a certain way. I could already see it, like she could low-key be kind of AFK now. From long range is a little bit different, but I mean, say for instance you got like a range rally with like a cross or like a Robin or something, that could be a pretty decent AFK build, not gonna lie. I can kind of see it now, or more so on like defenses rather than like, you know, really anything else. But the other thing about it too is like mean, you could have that build done, but with defenses, you know, unless they're like coming to you, which they probably will be for the most part. They'll probably not be covering the full range with you rather in that regard, which is okay. Because say, for instance, you're running with a squad, it's like, you know, it kind of balances out in that regard, if that makes sense. Oh yeah. But yeah, last night we were streaming Fortnite. We streamed Fortnite for a little bit. That was pretty fun. We were playing some red versus blue. We started off playing arena, bro. And yeah, then we were playing some red versus blue. I was actually going back when I was looking at the video gameplay and stuff like that. Because, you know, I always look for like highlights and stuff like that. I was looking at it, I was like, yo, this was quite the stream. Like for real, just like in the hour that we were streaming, it was just like definitely a lot of funny moments that it was just funny, bro. But I remember that. I was literally watching the content back. I was like, yep, that's about right. But yeah, definitely. You could definitely expect some Fortnite, you know, coming up soon. I mean, it was, like I said, it was fun to play again. I've been looking at some other games, which are like Apex and even Warzone. Now, granted, you know, I know MWT just came out. I definitely still into like the whole battle royale aesthetic of things. You know, it's pretty fun. You know what I mean? So like Apex, I didn't really get into last gen. But it's not that I didn't like Apex. It was just like, you know, I didn't really check it out. But I do think I have some incentive now to check it out because I've heard some great things, you know what I mean? To be honest, like, from like the circle of people that I knew played it and things of that nature, I heard pretty much nothing but good things. So, yeah, definitely some incentive to check it out there. I know Overwatch 2 is out as well. I'm probably gonna like check out Overwatch 2 because I was pretty into Overwatch 1, but I know that they've changed a little bit in the second one, which isn't bad, you know, I don't mind things, but it's more so just like a learning curve, you know what I mean? So just with that awareness, if I do play Overwatch 2, I want to make sure that, like, you know, I'm playing it, yeah, just not overthinking it, if that makes sense, you know? But there's definitely some titles out there. Some good vibes. So I'm actually gonna hop out of hydrant here and go ahead and hop into
extraction is ready.
Our orbiter.
Unless you can handle more of the enemy.
Oh yeah, hop into our orbiter and then go ahead and, you know, get some of that jazz done. By jazz, I mean really just like reforming a lot of the, you know, a lot of the stuff. Because right now I'm working on the Fullman. I do like I like the capabilities of it. It kind of could be built for hybrid, truth be told. But look at the base IPS on this thing. Like, it's literally, you're talking about, well, if you're going auto, it's like 41.9. But even then, like, you know, let's look at the Soma Prime. You're talking about 41.9 to basically literally 15.2. So that's almost 3 times the amount of base IPS. Now, granted, the Fullman obviously is a weapon that you get from like, I think it's like milestone 800 or something. I just logged in and I just like, it was just a milestone for me. So like, but I forgot the specific day. You can always, like look it up online and things of that nature too. But yeah, so it has 2 firing modes, being the semi-fire mode, which leaves it with, even semi is great because I mean at semi it's like 635, and I mean I do have some other semi weapons in my in my arsenal, being like, let's just look at, say for instance, let's look at not the Cyberus, but
stand by while I analyze the intelligence profiles of the
here we
Grineer.
go.
Error, not a number. Did the operator enjoy this witticism?
Let's look at something like the Tiburon, right? So like with the Tiburon, it has 58.4, on a semi switch, right? And then I'm pretty sure, yeah, literally 58.4. Or no, I feel like that might be auto. Hold on, let me go ahead and double check here. Yeah, it's 46. It's actually the same across the board, which is okay. And then you have something like even the Kuva Hind is like 90. You know what I mean? And then just stuff like that. So, I mean, for the most part, you literally have like a weapon here that's like 600 base on a semi. You know what I mean? And then it's like, yeah. And then even on the auto side, I mean, it does still fall off a little bit from the Tiburon, which is, understandable because it's still the Tiburon Prime. They couldn't make weapons like these irrelevant, because then it wouldn't make sense. There'd be no incentive to get them, right? But and this Tiburon is also status based too, so that helps out a lot. But yeah, so like even then, 41% for a or 41 on a flat IPS is not bad at all for a non-prime weapon, considering that how old the Soma is, and the Tiburon Prime is still, at least, I mean, they've nerfed this weapon since it's been released. You know what I mean? So, and I'd still put it up there for a contender of something to baseline a lot of other weapons off of, if that makes sense. If you're trying to like get a gauge, because it's all just numbers at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But for the most part, it also boils down to your play style, like what you like. But for the most part, like when I picked this thing up, one of the first things that caught my attention was the numbers on it, because I was like, wow, like 500 base on a 500 base on a semi, plus it's a crit weapon. You could build it for hybrid if you wanted to, you know what I mean? But it's pretty much a crit weapon, with a 2.2 times multiplier crit wise, and then even on auto, like, well, okay, I think I said 41. It's like 33. So, but still, that's not terrible. You know what I mean? We just saw the Soma where it was sitting at like, and I still like the Soma Prime, honestly, but it has, the Soma Prime also kind of makes up for it with 3 times the multiplier with the same critical multiplier. So it's like a lot of these weapons, they're really not irrelevant. It's really just like, it just boils down to playstyle. Prisma Gricata is another one. I have 4 Forma in it currently, but the Prisma Gricata is pretty much pure hybrid. Of course, you could build it in any direction, but for the most part, it's balanced across the board with like 25% crit chance, a 2.5 multiplier, as well as 21% status. So overall, super good in hybrid. But yeah, for the Fullman, I was thinking about just kind of like building this one mostly for crit, maybe putting in the, like the silver mods for extra IPS, not really, worrying about the, the status as much. Because, I mean, to be honest, you're pretty much, I mean, other than the 30% chance to apply slash on criticals, that's kind of, I won't call it like a guaranteed stat proc, but I mean, it's slash, so it always helps. And yeah, of course, you got the bladed rounds on there for the extra critical damage, vital sense, point strike. I'm actually going to Forma here to get some extra space in. and then off rip we can automatically put in like something of the nature of like even like a gold mod for now. But I was looking at putting in like, you know, galvanized scope, just because this thing is so accurate, bro. Like it's really accurate. And then, you know, prime shred wouldn't be bad at all. You know what I mean? Prime shred, or even I mean, you do galvanized scope, prime shred, you could still fit in like a gold mod if you want. Or I'd probably go like heat or like toxin, maybe even cold, depending on what I'm going up against. But yeah, man, it's not bad at all. I definitely would recommend it if you want a fun weapon to play around with and see the potential capability of it, if that makes sense, you know. So some food for thought there. But yeah, so for that, with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and hop into it. I'm gonna throw in Malignant Force there, and yeah, you know, get that extra. Actually, I forgot that it has base electricity too. That's actually super clutch, because here's the thing with base electricity, it's like all you have to really do is throw in like a gold mod or a silver mod, and then automatically you're getting corrosive. Or let's say if you want to do cold, or it wouldn't be cold, but you could do corrosive, you could do radiation with the heat mod. You could also do magnetic for corpus. You know what I'm saying? So there's definitely some room to like play around with different builds. But considering that we're going up against Grenier here, definitely gonna put Malignant Force there. Go ahead and get that extra corrosive buff there, and that's gonna really be interesting to see what this is capable of. Now, and our second slot, because, you know, we could always bring like an extra weapon if we wanted to like, you know, like Forma, right? Because since we're leveling up Ureli in this case, it's like she's gonna take a while, you know what I mean? So Warframes always tend to take a couple more runs, which isn't bad. Only thing is, in my secondaries, I don't have as many weapons that I like really like use as much, if that makes sense. Like I have my go-tos, right? Like Sicarus Prime, Pyrana Prime, Euphona, with the Pandero Prime now that, you know, it's changed a little bit, but Pandero's still up there. The Maradetrin, I could throw some Forma in the Maradetrin, but it's more so just like a base IPS weapon for the most part. Doesn't really have like crazy crit chance or status chance. The Comac, I do have 2 Forma in. I actually want to build 2 more so I can build the twin Comac. Colstar, you know, splash damage, that's definitely a thing. Let's see what else. Yeah, I mean, I'd say secondary wise, you know, I'm currently working on a few kit guns, but for the most part, secondary wise right now, things are pretty chill. Now, that doesn't mean I can't put Forma in like already existing weapons. Like, check the Akbolto. Are these good to go? Yeah, these are pretty much good to go. If I wanted to, I could put some more Forma in for like maybe. I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of these are already kind of.
Operator, you have remembered well how the Tenno arm themselves.
You know what I mean? 5 Forma in the Lex Prime, or Lex Prime. Still got 7 mod capacity left. 4 Forma in the regular one, and then I think I also have the Riven in there as well. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty okay. I'm not gonna lie. Even the Staticore. I mean, the Staticore just demolish. Truth be told, and they only have 2. I only put 2 Form in them. Maybe the Vosto Prime. At some point, I'm probably going to pick up an Ak Vosto blueprint, because I don't think I actually finished ranking up Doc Vosto, but maybe even like the Sonocore. Like the Sonocore, I feel like is more so just like a clearing the field weapon, though, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying the Sonocore couldn't be good, but for the most part, like, it literally doesn't have any status or crit. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, it's literally just like a clear in the field weapon, if that makes sense, you know? So, I mean, I mean, this thing could probably be built out. It'd be kind of fun to test out to see if it could just be like pure IPS and just like see how far we could go with it. That's something, right? But yeah, there's just there's no status or crit to scale. Like let's just say hypothetically I put a status mod in it, right? Let's just play around with the idea. So if I put a status mod in it, will it give it status? Let's see. Nah, it doesn't because there's no status on it. Yeah, so it's like, yeah. I mean, not bad. I definitely, bro, the static core I've had for quite a while, so it's not surprising there. But yeah, so that's pretty much on the secondary range. And then, of course, let's look at our melees. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I'm really thinking about putting a form in right now. Maybe like, I actually have an mod slot on this. Probably put my already running Carnus. Let's see. Yeah, I am running Carnus. Okay, I could do heat. Because is it status based? It is status based. Yeah, so I could do heat on this. There we go. That caps it out above 100% status. I was also even thinking about doing Blood Rush because it's kind of like it's actually not a terrible crit weapon, if that makes sense. So, I mean, unless you want to go for like speed, but for me, I'd probably just go like Blood Rush or even like, let me see, Blood Rush is like 40% critical chance and it stacks with the combo counter. So imagine you just got like Condition Overload and Blood Rush is going crazy. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, that's kind of it's a little try hard. I'm not gonna lie, just a little bit. I won't lie to you, but not really. You know what I mean? Now, I feel like anything involving both Condition Overload and and Blood Rush is getting into try hard territory, to be honest. But I digress. Yeah, now we got, let's see what else we got. That thing can be destructive, literally, when it comes to, not destructive, but we're creating, this is the creation process, so, Fang Prime, pretty solid. I know they got the dual carries Prime now, being dual swords. You also got the Docker Prime, Cobra and Crane, with 36% status chance, bro. Now this we could put a form in this. I'll keep it real with you. I could put a form in this. I mean, I don't need to, because I could put, say for instance, I could put one more. Let's see, we got Virulent Scrooge, Vicious Frost. I put like Voltaic Strike, maybe, right? And then that would bring us up to, hold on, we gotta swap these around. There we go. Corrosive and Heat, or Corrosive and Cold. It's Corrosive and Cold. Okay. So, I would go for, I mean, I could try out Corrosive and Cold. I'll try out Corrosive and Cold. But yeah, that brings us to 115 status. And then, of course, I could throw in like a Forma if I wanted to do Prime, Pressure Point, or even Sacrificial Steel, which I apparently started. So Sacrificial Pressure, and then Sacrificial Steel. This is the one I actually want to try, because this is 180% crit chance, bro. Golly. All right, yeah, we're gonna have to play around with some stuff for sure, but yeah, for right now, I mean, there's not really much to form on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I keep it real with you. Everything's kind of, unless I wanted to, once again, unless we were talking about more so the Warframes themselves, you know what I mean? Which is not a bad spot to be by any means, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look into that process. A happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, indeed, happy Thanksgiving to y'all as well. You know what I mean? And hopefully, y'all are eating good. Spending some time with the family. Maybe getting some potential Black Friday shopping in. Now, me personally, I'm not like a crazy Black Friday shopper. If you ask me, you know what I mean? But I guess I kind of did do a little bit. I mean, I got both. Well, I got the Revenant Prime access, not the one that came with the frame. I got that one before, but then I went back and I picked up the accessories because I was literally like, bro, because at first I was going to get D2, or I already have D2 because, it's free to play, but I used to play a lot of Destiny 2 at one point, and I was thinking about getting the DLC for it. So I was like, I'm going to just get, like, all of the DLC for D2. But then as I started pondering it more and more, I was like, why would I get the DLC for D2 and then
our position has been compromised.
Be in a position
defend the cargo until reinforcements arrive.
I feel like I'm incentivized to play. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that sounds crazy. It's like, well, of course, because you bought the DLC. But that's the point. I was like, I feel like with DLC, it's not like a game where, like, if you buy the game, you could kind of just, like, have it chilling. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the game. But it's like with DLC, especially with something like Destiny, like, yeah, I could have it chilling, but it's like, if I get the DLC, then I'd have to kind of, like, start playing the game like that. You know what I mean? Which I don't mind because I like Destiny, but I already know me right now. Like, I'm still pretty much playing Warframe. Like, this is kind of where, like, my mind is at right now. You know what I mean? And then, like, I was like, what's the point of dropping that money on that if I'm not even playing the game right now? You know what I mean? And it wasn't like a criticism of Destiny 2, because like I said, I still love Destiny 2, but it just didn't make sense to me. I was like, I'd be better off just buying Prime Access, you know what I mean, for the same price, and just like, just kind of go from there. But that's not to say like I'm not gonna get the D2 DLC, because to be honest, I do have quite a bit of catching up to do, and then on top of that, I've heard that Lightfall is right around the corner, so I'm not sure when. It might be like next year or something, or like December, but Lightfall is definitely fairly close. So for me, I'm like, well, if I do get back into Destiny, or when I do rather, it would be, it could be before Lightfall, it could be after Lightfall. I don't really have like a timeline of when, but I just feel like when I do, I'm not really going to be worried about a sale, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because it's just like I'm gonna just play the game, like, you know what I mean? Like if I want to buy the DLCs, I'm gonna buy the DLCs type that. You know, you know what I mean? Now, granted, yes, they're on sale. Like, if you're a Destiny 2 player, and like, you find yourself wanting to like pick up some DLCs, like they're all on sale right now, including Witch Queen. This isn't like a sales pitch. Like, I'm not affiliated with Bungie in any way, but just like objectively, right? Like, all the DLCs are on sale right now, so it would be a great time to get back into the game, just to be like, oh yeah, well, I picked them all up, but we'll see. I'll leave it at that, because there was also some other options in that, some great picks, like 2K23, Horizon Forbidden West, Spider-Man, where I was kind of, even with Spider-Man, I was like, well, if you have PlayStation Plus, you can stream it, so that's always nice. But Spider-Man is up there for like $20, and then like what else was I looking at? Ghost of Tsushima, Sekiro. Like, there was just some good ones up there, but I was like, sheesh. They had there was another one, GTA 5, which is like that's not even a decision, if you ask me. Like, that's literally, you know what I mean? Like, GTA 5 doesn't even, I don't even have to think about GTA 5, bro. Like, honestly, I know it's biased. I know most people are like, bro, GTA 5's been out for like years, bro. And when's GTA 6 coming out? That's like, bro, I do not care. I don't want to hear none of that. It's GTA 5, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how you gonna have next gen and not have GTA 5? You know what I mean? Like, it's just not, you just can't do that, bro. You know what I mean? You just can't do that. But that's not a knock on anybody that doesn't have GTA 5, but I'm just saying, like, bro, come on, like, it's GTA 5, bro, like, hello? Like if it's basically it's like Minecraft where it's like it's one of those games you can get on and just be bored. You know what I mean? Like you can get on GTA 5 and just be bored and just do whatever, and it's just okay. You know what I mean? Like it just works, man. So that's why I like GTA 5, and I mean I have a lot of like I guess you could say nostalgia, but I've had quite a bit of GTA 5 moments to say the least. So but yeah, I'm gonna just put it to you like that. Shout out Sumo, bro. Sumo is epic. Best game mode in the entire series, bro. And the stunt races, bro. Come on, man. Come on now. Like literally, when I say, bro, there was a time period where all I would get, like when I got on GTA 5, all I would do is play stunt races. Like I wish I was making it up, but I'm not. Like literally, and it's crazy because like part of it probably has to do with the fact that I just like cars. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like. I wouldn't call it a vice, but I definitely like cars, you know what I mean? I wouldn't call it a vice by any means. I think it's kind of like a blessing. I always look at it in a good way, because like, and it just incentivizes me to learn about cars and stuff, but I've always kind of liked cars, so like, I don't know if that has something to do with it, but literally, I would just get on GTA 5 and just play, like, just do stunt races.
Extraction is ready, unless
like
you
nothing
can handle
else.
more of the enemy.
Bro, they were so fun, bro, because they literally be like...
Continue to defend. You will be rewarded for your bravery.
Like anybody that played GTA when it first came out knows like the races in the beginning of the game, because I didn't really play a lot of races in the beginning of the game. Not because they weren't fun, but just because like, I don't know, I just didn't really do it personally. But there was like a bunch of like unlockables. So like you could say, for instance, you do like 100 races in a certain class of car and you get like all of the upgrades for it, right? Like the turbo and all of that. So for the longest, because I wasn't doing the races in the beginning, like I didn't have a lot of the unlockables, but then stunt races came out and I just started, bro, when I say I would just like literally all I would play is stunt races. So by the time I walked out of it, a lot of that stuff I had like unlocked, like stuff I didn't have unlocked for years, I ended up unlocking in like a month of playing, you know what I'm saying? Just like consistently. And not even like trying to, but just like, cause I was literally just playing that many stunt races. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, you know, there's some other stuff out there. Like most people, you know, they know about heist and like, you know, the casino and stuff like that. For me, I was just like, bro, I just like sumo. Like recently it was like sumo and stunt races. Like that was pretty much it. But there's definitely some other, you know, content in there. There's plenty of content in GTA 5, though. You know what I mean? That's really what makes it so fun, to be honest. Cause there's always somebody doing something in that game. You know what I mean? You can always find somebody doing something in that game. But yeah, it's chill. It's a chill vibe. So definitely for next gen. I have to, I mean, like I said, I didn't even have to think about that, you know what I mean? But, I was gonna say what else? Yeah, 2K23 is up there though. I thought about it. They had like the Michael Jordan edition of 2K23. I was like, yo, it was like on sale. I was like, wait a minute. Every once in a while I get a 2K game, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get them like consistently, but every once in a while I get a 2K game and I'll be like, okay, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. I've been playing a lot more like IRL basketball too, so I think maybe that probably has something to do with it. You know what I mean? I think honestly it probably does. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But yeah, that Michael Jordan edition, I was like, yo, that's kind of like, I was like between that and the D2 DLCs, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I was sitting there, I was like, you know? I was like, but yeah, there's definitely some choices up there, for sure. But the sale, I think the sale ends on like the 29th, so I was like, I'll see. So far I haven't gotten anything yet, at least from the Black Friday sale, like, you know, but definitely GTA, and that's definitely on the top of the list. You know what I mean? I'll be honest, I'm kind of procrastinating a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If there's any type of procrastination, that's not like the worst kind. You know what I mean? But it's not bad. You know what I mean? But I have been kind of procrastinating on it a little bit. Partially, you know, I've been streaming Warframe. I won't like blame it on this, but knowing that I've been streaming Warframe, it's like, you know, and then, you know, we streamed Fortnite yesterday. It's like, yeah. And then, of course, I've been thinking about Apex and Warzone, and I'm like, ooh. And then Overwatch 2, I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, bro. Like, gaming is kind of, I feel like gaming is kind of going through this little renaissance period right now. It's like, you know, it's a lot of good titles out right now, you know what I mean? And that's just like me, like, you know, talking about it too. But there's definitely way more than that, you know? Like even, I mean, God of War Ragnarok, right? Or even like MW2 just released, and then I played the first Horizon Zero Dawn, right? And I loved it. Like, it was a great game, great single player game. Like, honestly, it was a long time. Like, at that time, the two that I played, because my friend let me borrow a copy of Horizon Zero Dawn, and then he let me borrow a copy of the first Spider-Man, and I played both of them, like, complete both of them, like, literally, because I was like, yo, these games are awesome. But, like, literally, like, I played the first Horizon Zero Dawn, bro. That game was so fun. Like, it was crazy. Like, because the thing about it is, like, it's personally, so with me, it's not that I don't like single player games. I actually do, but like, I've never really been like a big single player person. Like, not that I don't like them, but like, I've always been more like MMO driven, right? Like, you know, hopping on teams or like, you know, reaching objectives, stuff like that. Stuff I can play over a long period of time. Like, even the first God of War, like, I played it, but like, I already had watched the entire playthrough before I got it. So once I got a copy of it, I was like, okay, not bad, but, you know, I didn't like finish the game, you know what I mean? So, yeah, but it was a great game, you know what I mean? Just because I didn't finish it, you know, so that's kind of the point. But when I played Horizon Zero Dawn, like, I didn't watch any gameplay. Like, okay, good example, right? If I didn't watch any God of War gameplay, I probably would have beat the game, honestly, but, you know, it is what it is. But I haven't watched any God of War Ragnarok gameplay, right?
Reinforcements
so
available.
Hopefully that helps.
Do you choose to leave now or continue
I would
fighting?
say with Horizon Zero Dawn, I didn't watch any gameplay.
Very impressive, Tenno. You held them
And
all
literally,
back.
I went
to
through
get out of here.
the entire game, bro, and like, to be honest, there wasn't really a moment where like I set it down and played something else. Like, when I had it, bro, literally I was like, that was the only thing I was playing. Like, it was crazy. I don't know why. The game was just so fun, bro. Like, I don't know. It was just so fun. I hadn't played a single player game that fun in like a while. And I played that and Spider-Man pretty much back to back. So, like, same thing with Spider-Man though. It was pretty much the same thing. But I specifically remember Horizon. So when I saw that they made a sequel for it, I was like, yes, sir. Now, I'm probably going to pick it up and play it at some point. Because like I said, I haven't watched any gameplay. Like, here's the thing with me, right? Like, usually I don't spoil myself on games. Not because, like, I care about spoilers. But just because, like, I've learned that about myself. Like, if I know what happens, naturally, I just won't have as much excitement about the journey, you know what I'm saying? Because I already know what happened, you know what I mean? So like, for me, it's like, well, with Horizon, I didn't watch what happened, I beat through the whole game. Spider-Man, I didn't watch what happened, I beat through the whole game. Bro, I'll even remember like way back when I was like when I was still playing Pokemon, bro, like when they announced that they were coming out with like Gen 3 remakes. I remember I specifically did not watch any of the gameplay because I knew that if I watched it, I just wouldn't have been as excited for it. So I just didn't watch any of the gameplay. You know what I mean?
Operator, were you visualizing a bloody battle?
Me
But
too.
yeah, I did that with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. To be honest, to this day, I still haven't watched any, like, I didn't beat Sword and Shield, but I also didn't really watch any Sword and Shield gameplay. You know what I'm saying? I got pretty close though. I think I got to like the 7th gym before I like kind of fell off the game. And then you know, even Gen 4 remakes. Like, I was a big fan of Gen 4 growing up. To this day, I still haven't watched any Gen 4 gameplay of the remakes, you know, on the Switch. And then, you know, I know Scarlet and Violet just came out. Still haven't watched any gameplay. I'm probably going to keep it that way, to be honest. Because if I do want to play it, I want to be able to have that extra incentive to play it. You know what I mean? Opposed to being like, oh, like I already know what happened, and now I'm getting it. It's like going to watch a movie, but like reading the entire script beforehand. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just kind of silly. So for me, I'm just like, I'm not even gonna do that to myself. You know, but like not in a complaining way. It's just, I'm just not gonna do that to myself. You know what I mean? Because I just know, like, I'll sit there and not play the game the same way. So for me, that's been a thing for sure. You know, now with MMOs, it's kind of like, it's a little different, because the thing about MMOs is like there's so much content that's incentivized for team, like just being like on a team, or like social environments, or just stuff like that, to where it's like,
excellent armaments, operator.
I'll look like, I don't mind looking up
covered in blood.
gameplay for an
Safe
MMO,
and sound.
because a lot of times, to be honest, that's how I find out if it's a good game or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, Warframe, I didn't really do that. I kind of just hopped into it, and like I just had like friends at the time that were like, yo, you should play this game. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna play this game. So I almost didn't play Warframe, bro. I'll keep it real with you. It was funny, because I'll never forget, I started playing Warframe the day after my birthday, because that's when I got my PlayStation 4. And I had content before I rebranded my channel. I literally had content. Like, if I didn't rebrand my channel, I'll say honestly, I don't fully regret it, but I kind of regret it from an objective point of view, but not in the sense of like, oh, like I feel bad, but just like, you know, consciously, I'm like, it would have been fun to see the continuity. On the other hand, though, that's more so from a content creation side, right? From an objective side, like, I already completed it, so like, it's okay, you know what I mean? But as a human, I'm like, yeah, I understand. I kind of regret it, you know what I mean? But I don't trip over that. But yeah, literally, so you would have been able to see the entire like timeline of like when I started the game to like, let's just say hypothetically, I was still making content, well, like I am now, like, you know, content, basically the whole journey, where it's like MR1 with like all the old like classic towers. Like, you'll see me farming like Ash Prime, the old school way, bro. When literally it was like, I say old school, but like old school in Warframe standards, where it's like, literally, I'm like going through like when they still had towers in the game. Like, before, there was relics, and literally people would just have to like get a key. I even forgot how you got the keys, honestly, but literally there was these things called tower keys, where you would get the tower keys, and then you would go to, like, say for instance, it could be like a T3 defense, which would be like in the void, and then you go there, and then like for that, where it's like, say for instance, you could go in there for like 5 minutes, because the thing was, you only got one key at a time. So it's like, where it is now, where like you have the relics, and then you have specific missions. You still have specific missions, but it was like, say for instance, you were trying to get a specific part for like Ash or like Mag at the time. You would have to get that specific key. So it would be like specifically, I said specific a lot of times, all right? But no, seriously, it'd be like specifically like T3 survival, right? So you'd go in there, and then they'd have this, like how it is still with the 4 rotations, like A, B, and then C. Most of the Warframe parts would fall on rotation C, which would be like every 20 minutes. So literally you'd be like, say for instance, for survivals, we'd be sitting in there for like 60 minutes, almost 80 minutes sometimes, just trying to get one part. You know what I mean? Trying to get one part for a Warframe. And I remember that, like, I don't know if I've streamed any, but like definitely off stream, I specifically remember, like, I would be in there, like, I'm talking like master rank, like 3, bro. I'd be like MR 3 or 4 with like Rhino and Valkyr, literally, because they would carry me, because Rhino had Iron Skin and Valkyr had the immortality. So that was really the only thing that would kept me going in those for so long, because by the time it's like 60, 80 minutes, bro, you're fighting like, as a MR3, bro, you're fighting like level 70, 80s, you know what I'm saying? Let alone corrupted enemies. So pure corrosive, you know what I'm saying, across the board now. But I didn't nearly have the mods I do now. So like literally I was just in there with like a galentine. You know what I mean? Just like swinging that thing around trying to get prime stuff. And I eventually, I was able to like finally get Ash built after a couple of, more than a couple of runs. But Ash Prime was my very first Prime Warframe. And then I ended up getting the Nakana Prime, which was the reason, like, when I saw the Nakana and I saw that there was a Prime version of it, that was, like, one of the main things that really sold me on Warframe, because I was like, yo, this looks like a vibe. So, like, I literally, when I found out how to get it, like, I focused all my energy on that. And then by the time I had got out of that, like, I literally walked away from that with, like, Ash, Mag, and Saren were, like, my first 3 primes. Yeah, for sure. Because I remember Saren came out with the Nakana Prime. So I had, like, I had Ash Prime. I think I got Mag Prime second. And then I got Saren Prime third. And then I had the Nakana Prime. And I might have bought, like, a piece for the Nakana Prime. But even at that time, like, it was like still just like a moment, because I was like, yo, this game is like a vibe, dude. So I really started playing it after that, you know what I mean? But to be honest, like, and my friend probably remembers this, it was kind of funny, but literally, like, I almost didn't play Warframe because I was trying to figure out how to get Rhino, and I wasn't getting the last piece. It was like RNG, and like I was like I was like, bro, like, I've been trying to get Rhino, and like he's just like, his last piece has just not been dropping. And like he was just like, yo, like, just hop back in, and just like, you know, he's just like, bro, just hop back in and just like try it again. I was like, okay. So I tried again, and I got the piece for Rhino, and I was like, nice. So I built Rhino, and then after that, it was pretty much just like, it was just full stride from there. So here we are, 25 mastery ranks later, you know what I'm saying? Only like 7 more mastery ranks currently left to go in the entire game, you know, with over like 50% of all of the, you know, all of the entire inventory in the game, you know what I mean? So I will definitely tell you, like, this game it's one of those, it's like, I've taken a, you know, quite a few breaks from it, you know, just to kind of like debrief. I've made content on it over the years. But it's a really good game. I mean, even, I always say this for like, if new players are trying to get into it, it's definitely easier now than it was back in the day. Personally, I know it might sound a little biased, but I feel like naturally games usually have a tendency to be that way, to become a little bit more new player friendly, because a lot of it, you know, is like the feedback from the community, as well as like, you know, just like over time, you're like, you know, people, and like we just learn things over time, right? So like, but I definitely would say now, like, this game is a lot easier to get into, you know, it's a little bit more new player centric. Like they kind of hold your hand a little bit more in the beginning, to be honest, now, opposed to when I first started, where it was like, literally, bro, like, I'm still thinking about the old star chart. Like, the star chart that y'all see now, bro, they didn't even have, like, look, we're gonna look at, bro, this star chart that y'all see now, they didn't even have this star chart, bro. Like, this star chart was completely different, bro. Like, that's, like, it's been a while. So, like, but it was definitely, like, way more, like, literally, when I say you started the game, and then you pretty much just got thrown into the ocean. It just had to swim. Like, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like, it compared to like when I first started playing, bro, and it wasn't a bad thing, but that's why I say, like, they didn't have junctions, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally, you could have somebody like carry you to the hardest planet in the game. Like say for instance, like that, and that's really what it boiled down to. That's probably why I even got access to some of the harder towers so early, because, good example, right? Like, you could have somebody, like, say for instance, you're like a person's like a MR3, right? And then like you have like a MR20 friend or something that has like the entire star chart unlocked. They could still carry you to harder content, you know, like taxi you, like that's what they call it, like taxiing. They could still carry you, but it's not like back then it was like if they carried you, you would just automatically get that planet. So you could start doing content on that planet. You know what I mean? Now it might still be like that for all I know. I don't know because I haven't been in that position in so long. But I remember that because we would literally have people like we would just hop in and like we had access to like fucking harder content like off rip, and we were just sitting there like, bro. It was just funny when I think back on it. But yeah, man. Now it's like it's probably still like that, but with the junctions, you specifically, you know, they have it more so where it not only is it like a narrative, but you know, it gives more incentive to like go through like the actual order of planets, you know. So like you start off on Earth, and then you know you can break off to Venus, Mercury, or go to like Mars, like Ceres, and then Phobos, you know, and then Jupiter. It basically goes Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Eris, and then Sedna, and then of course you got the Void. And then there's even Europa. Europa's kind of like after Jupiter, but like, you know, you got Sedna and Eris. And then you get even Lua, right? You get access to Lua later. Zariman, you get access to like completely after the new War Quest. So, I mean, everything now, and then of course Steel Path, you get access to after completing all the nodes themselves, right? So you have to run each node at least once. Same thing with Arbitration. So none of that stuff was in the game, like arbitrations, you know, Steel Path, none of that stuff was in the game previously. So it's a completely, like, I won't say a completely different game, but they've definitely done a lot of updates and stuff over the years, it's been great. You know, I definitely love it. I like it, you know. There's still work to do, but that's not a criticism. That's just what it is, right? But yeah, so overall, Warframe's chill, man. But I guess I say that I said that. What was the moral of the story there? I guess like, I mean, it's been a fun game for me, you know. But yeah, I was kind of talking about that in the sense of just like MMOs and like how I kind of research content. Because I'll be honest, like a lot of my incentive to keep playing Warframe was me like researching content, learning how to do certain things, right? Like because the thing with MMOs, there's often so much to do that it's like a lot of times it's good to do research because it's like otherwise, you know, there's just no way to really figure out unless you just like, you know, it's basically like running into a wall without doing like certain research, if that makes sense. You know, I'll say like ignorance isn't bliss all the time. There's selective ignorance, but it's like, it depends on the situation, you know what I mean? But that's a whole nother conversation, you know? This isn't like me getting philosophical by any means. But yeah, with MMOs, I definitely say like there's been plenty of times where I've gone on the Wikipedia, looked up something, because I was like, bro, I'm literally gonna just be like winging it if I don't. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's definitely a very okay thing. And you know, from like, I'm not saying like everybody's like that, but I just know for me personally, like with single player games and stuff, I know if I look up the game prior to playing it, I'm just not nearly as hyped for it. You know what I mean? But I think that's also like my brain just like kind of being a little bit aware, you know what I mean? Self-aware and jazz like that. But yeah, man. So even with that, that's just pretty much the vibe, truth be told. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, even these days, like I'll play Warframe mostly like formatting up my weapons. I pretty much had like the latest thing for me was really getting the open world stuff done. Like I finally got access to Orb Ballot, or not, I keep saying Orb Ballot, but I finally got access to
our position has been compromised.
Vox Solaris.
Defend the cargo until reinforcements arrive.
You know what I mean? So like being able to build like, you know, the Fortuna amps as well as, you know, do Profit Taker and the Exploiter Orb. That's definitely been a new vibe. I was actually saying I was gonna like do some content on that. You know what I mean? Because I've had like access to the Eidolon stuff for the longest. Truth be told. But yeah, you know, Profit Taker and the Exploiter Orb's a completely different thing. You know, that's definitely something. Definitely something. There you go. But yeah, I mean, even to this day, I'd still recommend, like, the game is great, you know what I mean? It's definitely one of my favorite MMOs. Now, I was looking at some other titles, like, even, like, Black Desert Online, like, I heard some great things. I remember, like, when they were first talking about that, like, when it first got announced, like, when they were still kind of, like, beta testing it and stuff. It's been a few years since that, but even then, like, I still remembered it over the years, and I'm like, well, I don't mind trying that game out, you know what I mean? Because every once in a while, I do look for, like, a new MMO to get into, you know what I mean? If, to say the least, like, I guess, like, for me, one of them was, like, I got into Trove for a while, you know what I mean? Because I do kind of, like, enjoy, like, 8-bit aesthetic. Like, I think 8-bit looks pretty cool, you know? So, like, I got into Trove for a while. It kind of has, like, some Minecraft elements, too, but it's still, like, an action RPG, MMO RPG style game. So it was kind of just like a blend. It was just kind of fun to play, pretty fun to play. But I got into that for a while. And then Trove got to the point where it was literally like, I pretty much hit a point where like all of my characters were basically like, I pretty much almost had every class in the game. And then literally I was basically just like doing the same thing on each character. It was just like trying to get them above like 20k like power rank. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly with Trove, it's kind of funny because it's like once you get one character above 20k power rank, I'm not gonna lie, as I'm talking about it, I'm kind of wanting to play the game again. But no, it's true. Like once you get one character to 20k power rank, it's way easier to get them all up to 20k. Like it's funny because they always talk about that in the game. They're like, yeah, once you get one, it's like the rest of them is just like easy. And at first I thought like, okay, maybe they're just kind of like saying that, not like being skeptical. You know, I was taking their word for it for sure, but you don't really realize like how easy it is until like you get a character up there to 20k and you're like, oh well, yeah, like this is literally this is like cheese, bro, like literally, you know. But that was really the main thing for me. Like I think that's kind of why I fell off of Trove, not because it wasn't fun, because I was still having a lot of fun playing it, but I was like, yeah, this is a little bit repetitive, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not bad, but, you know, let's see what else is going on. So, but I still like Trove, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, DCUO, I've been playing for a while too. You know, still, to this day, still working on my character in DCUO, bro, you know what I mean? For sure. A lot of DCUO now is just like artifacts and skill points, truth be told. So that's why I kind of been taking that journey quite easy, to say the least, you know. Yeah. But yeah, Black Desert Online, I've heard great things about. I started playing. There's another one called like Neverwinter. I was playing a little bit. Hera is another one. Winston, you know, Winston's definitely up there too. You know, I mean, I've definitely tried out some different MMOs along the years and stuff. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Even Destiny 2 I throw up there in that list too, because I mean, Destiny 2 basically is an MMO, honestly. Shoot. It's I mean, it's FPS, but it's still like with elements of the MMO in it, you know. And I forgot, like, I didn't really realize how much like effort I put into Destiny until like I actually like looked at it and I was like, done. Because I even remember specifically like ranking up. I think back when like I think it was like 1200 was like max light level. Cause like not like nowadays they don't even call it light level anymore. It's like basically just like rank, you know. But literally like when 12,000 was like max light level, I specifically like worked on like all 3 of my characters. Made sure I complete the story with them, like completed the story with them, and got them fairly close to like being max. Like I might have like when Leviathan was out, I'm pretty sure I might have completed Leviathan with like all 3 of my characters. You know what I mean? Like I played a decent, like that's what I said. I played a decent amount of Destiny. At least D2. I never played D1, but I did play a good amount of D2. And yeah, nowadays it's like I know that I would love to play the game again. You know, I just know like yeah, I got it's plenty of content to hop back into. You know, so I'm kind of like choosing. There's options there, right? But I'm choosing
reinforcements available.
What I want
to choose
put
to leave now
my
or
attention
continue
towards.
fighting?
You know what I mean? Like that's really the main thing. It's like, especially when it comes to an MMO, like I definitely am choosing what I want to put my attention towards.
Another opportunity to extract will appear soon.
There we go. But yeah, in terms of content, like you all could expect like great stuff coming along. Like I'm actually really looking forward to it, especially like on the YouTube side of things. You know, Twitch, like I said, isn't really going anywhere. You know what I mean? I just kind of been like, want to start building like the YouTube foundation again. You know what I mean? I have a lot of incentive to do that with streaming because, I mean, honestly, I've just, especially over the years, like I've noticed like I like making videos, but I also really enjoy, you know, streaming. I appreciate that element of streaming. So, just like, you know. And I can still like edit clips because a lot of times like I'll just like I'll stream and then I'll just like edit clip highlights, you know what I'm saying, like funny moments in the stream and jazz like that. So it still kind of like captures the essence of like certain moments, you know what I mean, and then like inspires that kind of like that incentive to go back and watch the stream, you know, because most people probably be like, yo, what is this, like what is going on type jazz, you know what I mean, like it almost like kind of like elicits that emotion in those moments, like captures that emotion, that essence. So, yeah, that's always kind of the motif of it. But I also do enjoy making videos too. Honestly, like I just know like the videos that I make are definitely like way more like on a creative front. You know what I mean? In the sense of like, I can make videos, like I'll make videos for a purpose, definitely, but it's like, I don't really like force myself like in a box, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of times that's just always been my thing on YouTube, you know what I mean? I'm not saying like, oh yeah, I have the best videos on the on the platform, like that's not what I'm saying by any means, but I'm saying like, sometimes I just like to kind of, you know, try out different things when it comes to like how I, you know, express my creativity on YouTube, you know, or just like when I'm making videos objectively, you know what I mean? Whether it's been, you know, with music in the beginning or just, you know, with the gaming content, you know. I like the streaming aspect of it because I don't necessarily, there's also some other things I've noticed too with streaming. It's like, it's a lot easier to stream and make content than like, say for instance, record like a 3-hour video and then have that sitting on like a hard drive. It's not necessarily editing it. That's the big thing. Like, I don't mind editing a 3-hour video, but it's more like with it sitting on a hard drive, like that's that's a huge video. You know what I'm saying? Like, pause. But no, you get what I mean? Like, bro, that's like, I don't know how many gigabytes that is. That's like probably like almost 10 gigabytes, maybe even a little bit more. Like 4 hours? Bro, that's a beefy video. You know what I mean? Like, not beefy in like a negative sense, but beefy as in like it's a big video. You know what I mean? So like, real talk, like, when, like, imagine having like a bunch of those, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it's not possible, but I think one of the things I've learned is like grappling with that. it's almost like having like a separate, whether it be like a separate piece of equipment just for editing, like that's like a real thing, bro. Like real life, or just something like that. You know what I mean? Because to be honest, I love editing videos. You know what I mean? But just like I've noticed that, like that's just something I like ran into, just like along. You know, you edit enough videos, and it's like, huh, okay, well that's actually a thing. Now, some workarounds of that would obviously be like, well, why don't you just delete some stuff? It's like, yeah, you could, but it's like, if you say, for instance, you're like on a PC or like a, you know, it could be a MacBook PC or, you know, even like a console, you know what I mean? Like, you're looking at maybe, like, you know, getting expandable memory, right? Like, there's definitely ways to work around it, but like, you know, expanding your memory, you know what I mean? Offloading the videos, that's a big one. You know what I mean? That's actually a big one. Right? But then, yeah, I mean, that's always an option. I just kind of look at it from like different different angles, if that makes sense, different perspectives. So like, for me, it's just like, I can literally just stream, like, I can stream for like 4 hours, you know what I mean? Roll some commentary on it. Yes, I might be restricted to playing a certain game, but I could always just start the stream over and make a separate piece of content. You know what I mean? And then like, you know, just not have to worry about the burden of, not like a burden in a bad way, but just like, it's still a level of responsibility, but not having to worry about like making space, if that makes sense, for, you know, the actual video itself after it's done. You know what I mean? Because once you finish the stream, it's like, that's it. It's already uploaded. And even on Twitch, you know, like once you finish the stream, it's there. You can always offload the stream if you want. That's completely separate. So say, for instance, you wanted to offload a stream and then like, you know, edit it on your own and then like, you know, splice it up, which I've done that too. You know what I mean? Or, you know, like even YouTube nowadays has tools, Twitch has tools nowadays where like you can like in-house like divvy up the clips, you know what I'm saying? And like make like, you know, just clips and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So like all of that, just like over time, is just stuff I've been super grateful for, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm like, yeah, bro, like I just like streaming, you know what I mean? It's a vibe. It's a vibe for me personally. But yeah, and then when it comes to videos, like I do like making videos too, but like for me, like I guess it also kind of inspires like a different aspect of like video creation, because like it's like, okay, well, say for instance, I know I stream pretty much long, like I'll do like more longer streams, right? Or even if I do some shorter ones, like the shortest I'll do maybe is like 30 minutes to an hour, but like for the most part, I'll do longer streams, and then if I make a video, say for instance that's like 10 minutes or like 15 minutes, you know, it's like I can really like put like effort into it, you know what I'm saying, to like, you know, polish it up and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be like the nicest looking video, but you know, it's just, yeah, I don't know, it's kind of like how I've looked at it. So I guess I have found some awareness in that front, if that makes sense, but yeah, that's just a perspective. I'm not saying like my perspective is the way that you have to make content on YouTube. You can make content however you want on YouTube, but that's just what I've learned has made, or like worked for me. Like those are some things that I've learned along the years that have made the process a little bit more incentivized, you know what I'm saying, for me personally. Because like honestly, if you want me to be honest with you, bro, the only thing that's probably really held me back from like making YouTube, like more YouTube videos, has been like finding space. Like, if you want me to be honest, like that is probably the main thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's never been actually making the video. Like, I don't have, like, bro, I will fire up a clip in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? But like actually like making space and like editing the video and like, well, not editing the video. I love editing, but like, you know, like making space for the actual video, that's definitely been the thing. So like, but also learning that as I go along has
Extraction
been
is ready.
Helpful. Cause like,
Unless you
it's
can
like,
handle more of the enemy.
you know what I'm saying? Like now I know what to invest in. So like now it's like, okay, like I should start looking for like expandable memory, you know what I mean? Or like I should start looking for like, you know, devices that have just larger memory capacity, right? Like, you know, stuff like that. Like, I'll keep it real with you. Like, I'm not the kind of person to like upgrade like an iPhone or anything like that. Not because I don't like Apple, but bro, I'll keep it real, bro. Like, there have been moments where I've looked at the newer iPhones and I've been like, damn, bro, I doubt like a gigabyte, or not a gigabyte, a terabyte on a phone sounds phenomenal. And just because it's like, not because like, oh yeah, like I just want to show off the fact that I have an iPhone. It's like, no, bro, like I am. I'm pretty sure there's other people out there, but like anybody that like makes video content, like, you know, just like enough, or just like does a decent amount of like utilizes their phone basically to like its potential, I guess you could say, or at least attempts to, can probably relate to this. It's like, bro, a terabyte on an iPhone is like, bro, that's overpowered. Like, not overpowered in the sense of like, it's just, bro, like, to be honest, like, if you're a content creator and you got a terabyte, bro, like, that's like next level, bro. Like, kudos to you. Cause like, think about it, bro. Like, you could record like videos, you could like edit videos seamlessly, and then, you know, they still have cloud. You know what I'm saying? They still got cloud storage too. So that's always been something that I've thought about in the back of my mind. I'm like, man, I might just
Operator,
upgrade.
did you hear
You know
that?
what I mean?
It said...
But for where I'm at right now,
Cosmic background
you
radiation
know,
is a riot!
I'm like, I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? But I would definitely was looking at that. I was like, yo, you know what I mean? Because I was like, man, if I get that, that would just be like clean. But I also work a lot of times with what I have right now too. Like, a lot of times I've just learned how to work with what I have and then kind of just adapt as I go along, as well as, you know, upgrade and stuff like that. But yeah. So I've definitely looked at all of that and you know, put it into perspective. But yeah, because these days I'll do a decent amount of editing. Like, I probably do as much editing of videos on my phone as I'll do on my computer, if not more. You know what I mean? Just because a lot of what I've noticed about editing on the phone is like, a lot of these apps and stuff, they're built for iOS software. Now, you know, a lot of the editors are built for OS software too, but the thing is, you can find editors that'll probably be just as good, and you could really max it out on PC. You know what I mean? But I guess what I've learned along the way is like, yeah, I don't need like the fanciest tools to make like good content. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really I don't really feel pride from that. Like, I wouldn't call myself a prideful person, but it does make me feel like good to know like I can utilize what I have and make it work until I get what I'm like looking at and like striving for. You know what I mean? So, but that's definitely been a huge thing for me, even for like music, bro. Like, now, like, I've always used GarageBand, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, GarageBand, I've used Fruity Loops or like FL Studio for, you know, like more mainstream, you know. I know Fruity Loops is more like people are like, what, the cereal? It's like, no, that's what it's literally stands for, Fruity Loops. But, no, like, basically FL Studio, I've used FL Studio or iOS, and I've used Logic Pro. I actually really liked Logic Pro, because Logic Pro, when I first used it, I found out it was basically just like an upgraded GarageBand, and that's really what sold me on Logic. Because I was like, yo, it's like literally GarageBand on steroids, bro. But like, not saying, you know, you get the idea. I'm not a medical expert here. That has nothing to do with this conversation. But yeah, no, literally. So, but Fruity Loops is good too. But I tried out Logic Pro. I was like, I really liked Logic Pro. And then, but I've been using GarageBand for years, bro, to make music and loops and all different types of jazz, you know, samples, beats, all that jazz. You know what I'm saying? I've pretty much done the whole thing, the whole spectrum of music creation so far, sampling, you know, all that, pretty much all through GarageBand. It can utilize all of it, can utilize most plugins, you know what I'm saying? And it's free software on Apple, you know what I mean? It's not like you got to buy GarageBand. They come with every Mac, you know, and then they're downloadable. I've used the iOS version too. I actually started using the iOS version before I hopped over to OS, so that's why I say, like, a lot of that stuff I just learned how to use over time, and I was just like, it just, it just kind of, I learned all the specs and all the, like, I guess if you would have called it life hacks, but I wouldn't call it a life hack. It's just like, if it works, it works for me personally. But, yeah, so that's been the main
well
thing.
Put together, operator. Now get out there and
cut down the...
and make the Lotus proud.
Here we go. Alright, so that's pretty much really done. Yeah. Cool. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and start working on... I'm probably gonna form a Vauban, because I think I wanted to put adaptation and in Vauban, as well as... And who else did I say? I think I said Ember. But I think I might start off with Ember first. I'm gonna start off with Ember first, and then I'll go over to Vauban. I already have one form on Ember. Yeah. But here we go. So let's go ahead and check out her build. So Hunter Adrenaline is really good, to be honest. I already have adaptation. Oh. So what was I gonna form it then? Do I have an Exilus? I might put an Exilus slot in her then. I'm wondering, because if I do, so we got, what did I take out? Oh, I think I took out Prime Vigor. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah. Because she still has 170 power strength. Duration's decent. She doesn't really need duration on her, I mean, for how long it lasts, yeah. You know what I mean? But for the most part, like, duration isn't, like, a crazy necessity after her rework. Immolation is good. You know what I mean? Protect Ember with flame armor that burns stronger over time, consuming energy once its meter is at full strength. Cast again to extinguish the flame. Okay, so I would say... Because I probably put, like, what is it? Power Drift in her? You know, I mean, Ember is literally on the cover of Power Drift, right? But yeah, no, I probably put Power Drift on her. You know what I mean? Just for that extra little bonus power strength there. But she doesn't really need a format. But here's the thing. I'd say, like, once I'm talking, like, maxing out, like, good example, like, maxing out Transient Fortitude, at some point, don't worry, it'll get done. It will be helpful to have some more form on her. So, for now, I think what I'm going to do is... I won't worry about a lens. I mean, I could give her like a Eidolon lens, but for now, I think I'm gonna just go ahead and let's see what lenses I'm working with. Narmon, Vazarin, Moderized, Zineric. I have 2 Zineric lenses. Okay, I might just hold on to those because I kind of want to upgrade them. But let's see. Did I use all the Lua ones? I still have a Lua Narmon and a Lua Uneru. Interesting. Okay. I'll tell you what, I'll give her a Narmon lens to see how she works for farming focus, and then, because that's usually what I'll do. I always give like a base lens first to see how efficient they are for farming focus, and then I'll make the switch after that. Let's do Vitality. Yeah, Vitality has a 12 drain. 11, or Hunter Adrenaline has an 11. It's also a Y polarity. I might do, yeah. Let's do Forma for Vitality. And D polarity, and then that just knocked off some power strength. That's cool. That's cool for now, yeah. So that's 2 Forma and Ember Prime. To be honest, it's funny because, like, I guess it kind of works out, because I'd say, like, Warframes are probably the last frontier of things that I haven't really formed, because, you know, like, usually I focus on weapons first, but now that my weapons are pretty solid for the most part, you know what I'd say, I can actually start finally focusing on forming like some, Warframes and really maxing out their potential there. So that's always good. But Grand Rising. But yeah, so I wonder for Ember, I'll probably give Ember maybe Eclipse? Damage reduction? Ooh, or should we do... I feel like Ember with Roar would be, like, insane. You know what I mean? Because I'm already building her out for power strength. Calx and Bile. Got it. But, yeah, man, I've definitely would say there was something I was wanting to beforehand, but alright, we just need a little bit more bile. Get rid of fireball. Rolling. This should be fun. Let's get it. I'm here for it. But yeah. Hey. Indeed. But yeah, so it was something I was referring to beforehand, but it's all good. For the most part, if it comes back to me, it'll come back naturally. But yeah, man, I was definitely looking at some of the MMOs, and I was like, well, oh yeah, I remember. But yeah, I'll finish this point. But yeah, I was looking at some of the MMOs. I was like, yeah, there's definitely some solid ones out there. But I was talking about editing and like, creating content and stuff. But yeah, for the most part, that's been like the main thing. It's just like finding stuff that, finding content, or not finding content, but just making content that, is a vibe. And then of course, utilizing the tools that I have right now. You know what I mean? Because real life, that's just been like the main thing. Truth be told, because like, yeah, there's plenty of like tools. Like, you don't have to have like the world's best equipment. You really just gotta have like the drive, because like, to be honest, you'll figure it out as you go along. You know what I mean? Like, you'll figure out what works and jazz like that as you go along, and just find stuff that works for you. Yeah. Like, for me, I just kind of like curate to the tools that like I've used over time. Did my game just... No, it didn't freeze, but... No, it's actually... I can literally still... Hold up. No, it's just... I don't know. It kind of just... I might... Let's see. Hopefully I don't have to restart the stream, but I might have to. But, yeah, just kind of, curating to the tools that work for you. Like, for me, it's like, for me, like, as much as I probably want to start making content on PC, it just doesn't really make sense to right now, because a lot of my main accounts are on PlayStation, and plus PlayStation kind of has the tools integrated into it. But it doesn't necessarily stop me from making PC content, if that makes sense, like, because PC has all the tools, capabilities. There's also like mods and stuff like that. There's definitely more room for expansion. Like, even talking about things like Minecraft and jazz like that, there's definitely the room for expansion there. Even GTA, there's GTA mods and stuff like that too. I've tried, I've played some games on Steam and jazz like that, and PC is definitely sharp, for good measure, but I do still enjoy console as well. Most stuff. Yeah. I'm not really, to be honest, I'm not really picky. Like, cause I played next gen Xbox. Like, I didn't have an Xbox X, but I had the S, so I got a good feel of it. You know, performance wise, it's a little bit different, but you know, for the most part, it's still good, still solid, and it's still next gen. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, you know, I've played the PlayStation Pro, seen the capabilities of, or the PlayStation 4 Pro. I've seen the capabilities of that solid system. You know what I mean? And, you know, PS5, solid console, PC. But across the board, I'm not really picky. Like, I enjoy all three platforms. I respect, like, the capabilities of all of them. And then there's so many games nowadays that are coming out with like crossplay compatibility, like Destiny, Fortnite, you know what I mean? To where it's like, it really doesn't even matter what interface your person's playing on. They could just boot up their account and get it going. You know what I mean? So that's always good too, for sure. But yeah, man, it's a vibe. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. But yeah, so it looks like it might have froze on us here as we were logging in the hydrant, right? So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reset the game. It's probably, actually haven't tried to close out a game, but I might be able. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can pause it and restart the game. Let's see. Yeah, if it just, you know, if it closes out, don't worry, we'll be right back. We're just kind of troubleshooting a little bit, but it's literally, like, it literally says we're in the like, it literally says we're in the game. So I don't know, but yeah, because it's not like the game froze. You know what I mean? It's more just like, yeah, it just froze. All right, let's go ahead and give it another go. Let me just close out.